This walk, which starts on the lower side of the quay at Lancaster, is a 15-mile route progressing down the bridle path towards Glasson Dock, along the canal to Galgate, proceeding on the wildlife trail of Lancaster University, making our way through the areas of Hala and Bailrigg to Williamson's Park, then through the city centre to Lancaster Castle.
Well, a good, very frosty morning to you all. Jason here with another Robinson's Ramble just on the banks of the River Lune here just at the end of the quay at Lancaster. Why I'm doing this rather than a normal sort of Lake District walk that I have been doing of late is just to prove to you that you can make use of your more local surroundings. Now, being from Lancaster, it's only a couple of junctions up the road to get up to the South Lakes, which I'm, yes, feel very blessed that is the case. However, you can, and I know around Lancaster particularly, there are some great walks that you can just nip outside the city centre and you're in some gorgeous countryside. So that's what I thought I would show you all today. We're going to be doing a south circular. I've just gone along the quay side here, just going to get onto the banks of the Lune and make our way down to Glasson Dock and explain further along the video of where we're going on this pretty much 15-mile, quite flat route. Let's find out. And the reason why I'm doing this walk today is because of the temperature. Because there's a lot of places this time of year, if it's grey and wet, and you go around the Lune and the footpath I'm taking, it can be a little bit on the boggy side. However, you get the temperature into minus figures, the mud turns solid, and well, I find it quite a bit of an easier route to walk on.
What I love about getting out on a morning walk along the Lune when it's chilly is hearing the crumple of frost under my feet, the blue sky bouncing off the river, and from this point of the walk, it's only a mile and a half away from the one-way system and I cannot hear a peep of traffic. Just the birds in the sky and my size 12s desperately not trying to slip on the ice.
So I know what you're going to be thinking. First thing, 15 miles? Jason, how fit do you think I am? Well, bear with me. So the past couple of months, I've been doing these longer but flatter walks rather than going up the Lake District because sometimes you don't always have time to drive up, you know, do your research for where to park, etc. So there's been these that have been very beneficial, and also just to see and push myself how far I can actually walk in a full day. My record at the moment has been 20 miles, which has been from getting the bus from Lancaster city centre, going down to Barton Grange, getting on the canal from there, and then walking our way back up this way towards Glasson Dock, and then back to Lancaster. But this is, yeah, just about 15 miles. We'll end up at the castle, because I live just on the other side, just past Lancaster Football Club. And just to show you, yeah, you don't have to venture too far to find some gorgeous places to explore. Maybe you've been living in the Lancaster area or Lancaster, Morecambe, Boltley Sands, etc., in this particular area, and you've never ventured this way. Well, on a day like this, absolutely do so. Can someone tell me why I haven't put my sunglasses on today? It's sunny, it's January, of course the sun's going to be low. Oh. Anyhow, I do feel very privileged. The fact that this is literally just on my doorstep. Because as much as I like the convenience of nearby amenities in Lancaster city centre, which is great, you know, you get back home if you've been working late at night and you feel like, oh, I could do with a bit of supper, you can order a takeout to God knows when, catch up with friends in the cafes and restaurants and everything else that the city has to provide. But at the same time, you're able to get out, stretch the legs and see some magnificent scenery. What I will suggest, well, a couple of things if you're doing a walk this long, is I found out very quickly when doing these longer and on harder surfaces like on canal bridleways and a bit of road walking where necessary, is to support your feet where you can. So I bought some memory soles for my walking boots, these things down here, and also, when I go on these longer walks, I put like 2 pairs of socks on. I just find it a lot easier on my feet, otherwise the dogs be barking by the time you get back home. So yeah, no, take that from me. If you do fancy, if you're not used to such a length of walk and you fancy pushing yourself and you're not used to it, that's what you need to do, certainly. Look after your feet and they'll look after you. So we come to a bit of a crossroads here. If you don't fancy going too much on a lengthy walk like the 15 mile hour I'm about to do, you can alternatively, it's not that cold, I promise, can make your way up towards Old Cliff, and that leads along onto Lancaster Canal near Haverbrakes and round there on Old Cliff Road if you wish. But we are not doing that today. I've done that plenty of times. It's a nice little walk going up there, and also excellent for a good property perv. Now then, here's another historic route in the area that leads up to Old Cliff Hall Lane, Smuggler's Lane. Yes, it was around here once upon a time in Lancaster's golden era, I think that's how they call it in the on the museum. Any particular contraband that wasn't allowed at the customs up at the quay, apparently they used to drop it off here and then take it by horse or by mule up that lane, so they can bypass the usual formalities. Naughty. Just getting into Condor Green car park now, where you can have some gorgeous views getting over to Glasson Dock, which I'll show in a moment. But this is also a very handy place. If you need some facilities, they have some here. And unlike the public facilities at Glasson Dock, they don't charge. So even if you haven't got any change, you can still spend a penny. So just passing Condor Green now. If you fancy a pit stop there, of course you've got the stalk that you could grab a swift half and a bit of a drink, or if you feel like you can go a little bit further, Glasson Dock, just down there. The good news is as well, if you haven't been down to Glasson Dock for a while, the smokehouse shop has moved out of the industrial area of the marina, which we used to be over there, but now it is right here, so you've got no excuse. And not just smoked produce, they do have a bevy of lovely jams as well. Do like a good jam and cheese. Make myself hungry even before I get to my lunch. But yes, it is very nice. And if you fancy trying to spot Blackpool Tower up on Tythe Barn Hill, that is up there. And you've got our swing bridge just here. Evidently as well, if you skipped breakfast to get off early and you fancy something a bit hearty, Lockkeeper's Rest. I've never had a bad fry up from there yet. Well worth coming down just to grab something from there. Anywho, plenty more to be had. Marina Basin, of course. A little bit frozen today, but we will continue on up the canal and get to the Glasson Branch of the canal to get up to Galgate. This part of the canal always gives me some fond memories, because many moons ago, about 2007, 2008, I used to be the activities coordinator at Thurnham Hall, which is a timeshare resort just on the other side of that tree line. And what my Monday used to consist of was doing a historic tour around the old building itself, showing the guests, and then doing a walk myself and taking a few guests coming down along here and then along this field and then over this bridge and then down to Glasson Dock, just to give them a quick walk of the local area, and then put on a DVD for them in the evening. That was my Monday. It was fantastic. And yeah, on the odd occasion when I went into Dalton Arms, I used to have a lunch bought for me, so yeah, paid day's work and some fish and chips. That was a good time. Okay, exactly at the halfway point for this walk, because it's 5 miles from the quay down to Glasson Dock, and then 2.5 along the Glasson Branch, which we have got to the junction of. And if you're feeling a little bit more frisky and you want to go a bit further, you can continue down the Lancaster canal that way to get you down towards the Glasson way. But 15 miles is enough for me today, so I'm going to be going this way, which will lead us over to Galgate and Galgate Marina.
If you fancy a quick stop in Galgate before you make your way back to Lancaster, they do have a couple of pubs in the village, in the form of the Plough and further along, the New Inn, which gained a little bit of YouTube popularity when professional eater Beard Meats Food took on one of their food challenges.
If you can hear in the distance, this is the reason why I take Chapel Street, just to try and get away from A6. But if you see the old mill, you go in the right direction.
After continuing through Galgate and LL, you are greeted with Bailrigg Lane, which after crossing gets you to Lancaster University and the Kissing Gate onto its Woodland Trail.
So the Woodland Trail is a lovely, I only just found it a few years ago myself, and it goes all the way around the perimeter of the university, and it's a great little find to get you from A to B between Galgate and Hala and South Lancaster, avoiding the A6. However, as you can tell by my elevated volume, it is right next to the M6. Just coming through Bailrigg now, well, pretty much through it anyway, and then there's a little turning off to the right up here to get you into the south city limits of Lancaster into Hala. If you're not too sure where that is, stick around, I'll show you. Here essentially, new university buildings, one footpath to get us into town. Let's go. So it is from this bit, after this cycle path, it does get a little bit more residential. So I will be filming less because I'm going to look like that nutter that's talking to the end of a stick. But I will, from here, basically, go up Barton Road. I'm going to go up Colston Road as well to the top at the front gate of Williamson's Park. So I'll see you there. So here we are, front of Williamson's Park. One little bit left to do before we get down to the castle, but I think I will use the wonders of technology to get us there very, very quickly. So there we are, pretty much done, 15 miles complete, Lancaster Castle right behind me. And you don't necessarily, of course, have to do the entire 15 miles. You could get down to Glasson Dock and get the bus on the way back, or the bus over to Galgate and then take the Woodland Trail behind the university. It's entirely up to you, whatever you want to do. But there we are, thank you very much for sticking around. Now, guess what I'm going to ask? Yes, it is a YouTube video anyway. So there are a good library of different things that I've got, of course. Some near Lancaster, I did Cloffer Pike the other year, and further up at the Lake District as well. And I'd love to go further afield, given the opportunity. But yes, like the video, subscribe. You know what the drill is. Thank you so much anyway. And yeah, hope it's inspired you to do whatever you want to do for getting fit for 2024. Happy rambling.